Here at the beginning, this is your main leads dashboard. You're always going to land here after you log in, and this is going to give you a line-by-line summary of each lead that you have. So on this screen, the first thing that you're going to notice here is these colors at the top. So obviously, if you select the all button, these are lead sorting function buttons. So if you select the all button, obviously we're going to see all leads. If you select green, it's going to show you the leads that you have marked as green. And for those of you that may not know what these colors are yet, I'm going to explain that. Yellow, red, sold, and so on. And CR, that stands for conversion rate, and that is going to be your conversion rate. How many of lead, what's the percentage of leads that you have sold? So let's keep rolling. So those were the top buttons here, the lead sort buttons. So there's a drop-down section here which is pretty handy, and I'll show you guys how that works. This is a good way for you to sort leads. If you select this, you can sort leads by location, and that's your store location. If you have, for example, I have a location in Dallas and I have one in Fort Worth, for example, you can sort leads based upon that. You can sort leads by the application that generated the lead, and some of you are familiar with the applications that we use to generate leads. There's a used piano method, a premium piano method, we have piano pair, we have events and others. So you can sort by application there. Lead source, and this is all leads can have only one source, and this is the main source that generated the lead. And we have tag. Leads can have many tags, and I'll go through these more in a little bit, or associate. So if I were to click on one of these, it's going to affect this other drop down and bring back the required field. So if I selected my friend Jack here and selected view, it will sort and give me just Jack's leads in this view. Adding a new lead is very simple. Leads come into this application in three ways. Number one, you can manually add one. Number two, we are pushing leads to the system in the background, normally by an application that we have set up. Or three, you can do a bulk import of leads. That function is only available to me as a super administrator, but we're working to bring that function to you. It works, but we just have some usability issues that we need to take care of, which means we want to make it easier for you to do. But that's coming soon. So if anybody does have a bulk amount of leads, maybe in an Excel spreadsheet or email list or anything that you want synced up to PianoLeads, we can do that for you. So I'm going to go back to my view here, and let's look at adding a lead. So you're going to get a pretty nice drop-down box here to create a new lead. Some basic information here, your locations, your lead source. You can select an existing one or create a new one if you want to, which will bring up a new window to create a new one if you'd like. And these are tags. Now, you have to create tags for them to show up here. We have some created here in this demo account. But some good example of tags would be, this is a player piano customer, or this is a customer that we met at the Costco showcase, or someone we met at the fair showcase, or the wine and cheese event. However you want to group leads together, that's what you would use tags for. You can leave an initial note on the lead if you'd like, and then ratings. And once again, for those of you who don't know about our rating system, we use a stoplight method because that mentally is what we're very used to seeing as we drive down the road. So as you would assume, green means go. That means maybe you've spoken to this prospect already, but you have a pretty good feeling that this lead is going to lead to an appointment or a sale. You're feeling pretty good about it. Yellow normally means that you haven't contacted the lead at all and you don't know where it's going to go. It could be good, it could be bad. You need to take further action. Red would mean that this user has told you that they're not interested in your product or service, or they've bought somewhere else. They're not going to buy from you. That's the bottom line if it's red. You can also upload an image of the new lead if you'd like. one thing that I'm going to touch on later is we have a lead enrichment feature that's pretty good at finding images already. So you can try that out. I'm sure those of you that have been on the system for a while, you're starting to see that, oh, I clicked into a lead's profile and there's a picture of the person. How did that get there? I didn't put that there. Well, that's the lead enrichment at work. When new data enters the system scans the internet for information on that user. And I'll talk a little more about that. But you can choose to upload one or not. And then if you were to add a new lead in here, obviously it would fill up here in your lead profile. Now, editing a lead, we have a quick edit feature here. There was, and I'll address this, there was a bug in the system that was putting you all the way back to the beginning of your leads dashboard when you edited a lead. And we just recently fixed that, which is great because I dug into it a little more and I realized, gosh, this is taking up a lot of time. So we need to leave people where they are when they're done editing a lead. So I'm going to go to one of Jack's leads because he has a lot. So I'm going to go to maybe page 5. And let's say we want to edit this lead here. So we can change the rating of the lead quickly. And we can add a note if we'd like to. I'm just going to quickly change the rating of the lead. You'll see it down here. Alaskan AI is the name of the lead. So I'm going to click and change it to green and click save. And then after I do that, you'll notice that the lead was updated here and I'm still on page 5, which is great. Now I can keep on addressing the leads exactly where I was. Now you'll see it did move the lead up to the top, and the reason is because the default lead sort is recent activity. And after you change a lead, that's the most recent edit you've made on a lead, and that's what this is sorting by. So that's why it moved up to the top, because it's telling you this is the last thing you changed on this lead.
You got some non-piano stuff in there, Joey, just FYI.
Okay. So delete is delete. Very simple. If you delete a lead, it is gone forever. We have got some feedback on that, so we're working on putting the leads in a just kidding bucket where if you deleted the lead, you can go back and click on the just kidding link, and that's going to take you to the ones you deleted, and you can bring them back in case you accidentally do that. We do have a flag here. If you try to delete, are you sure? If you still continue and delete after you're sure, then we'll have one other method to recover it. But if you deleted from the last chance, we can't help you. That gave you 4 opportunities there to save it. So we'll go ahead and cancel that. So that is our initial leads dashboard page and what you can do on this initial page. Now going into a specific lead here, I'm going to actually click into it. The only way to access a leads profile is by clicking the lead name. If you click anything on the right here, nothing's going to happen. You must click on the name. And you're going to land on a basic summary page here. And you will see that sometimes a picture will populate if we find an image of that user online. Now this is just a test here, so there's obviously not an image that it found for test 123 email address, but we have a pretty good ratio, percentage rate of images being found. I hear that all the time from sales associates. It's so nice to have a face to match with who I'm working. So that will happen a lot of the time if we can find something. So on the left sidebar, we're just kind of summing the lead up. This is Jeff Smithfield here. I can click on the color and edit it right from there if I need to. You're also going to see some summary information of his phone number, email, where the lead was sourced. This was marked as concert, so I guess we met this guy at a concert. The store says piano industry because this is a demo account, but yours will probably be an actual location. Maybe it'll say Cleveland or Wadsworth or something like that. This wasn't generated through an application because we added it manually. We have a created and an updated date and the lead owner. Now, this summary page, though it doesn't look like a lot on here, it's probably the most powerful page in the system, because we have a wonderful take action button. And we wanted to make this really simple. In PianoLeads 1.0, we were all about trying to get our sales associates to take more action. Perhaps draft an email to do this, or send a text that says this, or research them here, research them there, because a lot of our sales associates in the beginning have never used any type of CRM or anything. So they needed some initial tips. So we thought, what if we put all of those initial tips in a take action button? And that's what we did. So you can click this button here and you have some great options. You can text this lead if you'd like to, and this will send a new text message. It's sent from a default number, but clearly in the message it says, if you want to reply, you must reply to this number, and that is your cell phone, the associate's cell phone. And you'll see there's a little message here. For text messaging to work, you must have your cell phone number saved within your user profile. Your lead must also have a cell phone number saved within their lead profile. And I will show you that before, but I can certainly send a text message to this number. And you can get as creative as you want. Appointment, and I can send this off. And if the user replies, now this isn't going to work because this is a default number. You got a 55555, so that's not going to work. But if we have a correct mobile number, it will work, and you will see a message telling you that the text message was sent. And if the user replies to the text message, it will go to your cell phone, whatever cell phone number you have for yourself within your lead profile. Now the next item here is email. Very straightforward. You can type an email. And once again, when this is fired off, so that worked because this, believe it or not, this is an email address that works. So when that happens, if the user replies to that email, it will go to your email. Whatever email you have set up in your profile for PianoLeads, the response will go back to your email. So another action button is finding the user on Facebook. And this is really nice because it's going to query Facebook for people with that name right here, which is very nice. So it's going to bring up all the Jeff Smith fields that it could find. Sometimes this works very well. Sometimes, you know, we're dealing with what the system gave us. So if we can match the email address with Facebook's, it finds it. If not, it'll find users with a similar name. But it's just an easy way for you to do a little research on the prospect, because as we know, the more we know about our prospects, the easier it is to sell them something. Another take action button that we have is find on LinkedIn. And same thing, it's going to query LinkedIn for that user. And here we go. You can do some research on their occupation there as well. We also have a find on Google, and this is going to just conduct regular Google search for that user, bring back a lot of profile information for them, and you can spend some time researching here. I asked a sales associate one time, he just told me he had just finished a sale. It was a $50,000 piano. He said, it was one of your leads from Prospects International. I can't thank you enough. And I said, well, sir, anonymous sir, I won't say your name. Give me some insight, because we're always trying to educate our base of sales associates. We're always trying to tell them what's working and what's selling pianos these days. He said, the one thing that I do every time is I do extensive research on every prospect that comes in. I Google them, I look for Facebook profiles, I learn all I can. This particular sale turned out to be an author, and I went as far as familiarizing myself with some of her books before I made the initial call. So when I heard that, I said, we got to make that easy, because he probably spent about 30 minutes jumping around online trying to research, find this in different places. So that's another reason why we created the take action button, to make that research very easy. And then the last one is to transfer the lead. You can transfer the lead to another sales associate if you'd like within the organization. Very easy to do. Now, the next tab here from summary is a profile. And this gives you absolutely every piece of information we could find or that you can enter on this particular lead. And as you start to engage with the lead, you may find that now you do know their street, their city, their zip code, all this stuff that you find, you can certainly update into this profile if you'd like and save that through, and it'll populate for you. Next, we have activity. So this PianoLeads is going to track actions that you do. It's good for you to see a log of what you've done for this particular process, for this particular prospect. And it's also good for managers to be able to see what you've done for specific prospects. So that activity log is going to populate here. Managers, those with a manager privilege are allowed to see other users' leads. If you have a sales associate privilege, you will only be able to see your leads. Notes section here, pretty standard. We can create a new note on the fly here in this tab if we'd like to, or we can monitor the other notes that we may have made for this lead. Now, lead enrichment is one of my favorite areas. Every time a new lead is brought into the system, whether you add it manually, whether we add it via an application, or whether we import, we're going to look for information across the web, across many databases to bring back good solid information on each lead that comes in. So every time we send you a new lead and you notice that it populates in your profile, be sure to check the lead enrichment area, because we could have very well found some good information here that will help you on your follow-up. If the email address that the user used to complete one of our application forms matches up with a LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook profile, a website, or other databases that store information, it's very likely we'll be able to pull that information here, enrich the lead for you, and allow you to get some good insight on who you are dealing with. Next tab is automation. Now I'm going to go through this in depth in a little bit, but what you want to know here is this is going to allow you to turn automation on or off for a specific lead. So we have a nice link with your Google Calendar here. If you click this button, it's going to open up your Google Calendar, and you will be able to create an appointment for that lead if you'd like to, if you are at that stage. So that's very nice to have that Google Calendar kind of integrated into the whole system. Then tags, pretty straightforward. These are traits that you want to belong to this lead. If you realize, oh, they are interested in Mason and Hamlin, but they were also talking about Yamaha as well, or they also mentioned a digital piano, and oh, I found out he's a musician, you may want to come in here and update that, because it's nice on your lead screen to show all of your musicians or all of those that are interested in Mason Hamlin, because you just got a new pre-owned one in and you want to talk to everybody that's interested in one and you want to call them all up. Well, that's what tags are for, is we can group specific leads together. So that's very, very nice to do. So that covers the lead dashboard and lead profile areas. Next, we're going to talk about, actually, I'm going to take a break and unmute Jack. Jack, do you have anything you'd like to add before we go on to inventory?
About 60% of the leads that are coming in, as the feedback we're getting, are actually enriched leads. They're showing, so it's more than half of them. So we are saving you all a lot of time there. That's the feedback that we'll get. No, that's all I had. You can continue rolling right on through the demo.
Okay. If you need to talk again, just start waving your, actually, I think you can, well, no, I have to unmute you. If you want to talk again, just start flailing your hands around like crazy.
I know I muted myself, and then when I only had one meaningful thing to say, and I couldn't say it.
I will give you, you are the CEO, so you need to speak. I will give you opportunities as we go along. Okay, so moving on, inventory is super important. We've honestly, as our company has evolved, we've incorporated inventory into the advertising applications that we manage for our piano industry clients. Inventory is very important. That's what users want to see. Users want to see a specific grouping of inventory with a theme. We keep seeing that over and over again. Users want to see that. So a lot of our applications involve an exclusive inventory list, an exclusive grouping of pianos that speaks to the user. Perhaps it's a grouping of technology advanced pianos. Perhaps it's a grouping of pre-owned clearance pianos. Perhaps it's premium pianos, the best grouping of premium pianos that we have to offer. So we were using inventory a lot, and we've handled it in a lot of different ways. Sometimes we would send the user to the piano gallery's website. Sometimes we would load inventory from an Excel spreadsheet. Sometimes we would just do it manually. So it was important for us to build inventory into the Next system because we want to give the control of inventory management to our users. And that was very important. So what we have done is we've created an inventory area here. And I see there are some questions coming in. Thank you for asking them. They're all saved here, and we're going to get to them at the end one by one. So we do have an inventory button here. If you select all, first of all, you're going to see all of the inventory that you have in the system, whether it's on specific list or another list. This is absolutely everything, and you'll see that there's two lists here on this one. I could also select lists right here, and this is going to give me the inventory lists that I have within the system at the moment. So you can create a new inventory list here. Perhaps you want to call it Technology Advanced Pianos. This description, which you're going to see, it says visible on the public inventory list. A lot of our piano galleries asked us if they could have a clause. We want to say this about our inventory. Sometimes they want to say this is not, sometimes the piano gallery is so big and you have so many pieces of inventory that you just can't fit it all on the inventory list, or you don't want to because there's 100. You can create a nice statement here that says this is only a selection of our inventory. It's not the full list. In order to see the full list, you got to come into the store, or whatever you want. Any disclaimer that you'd like to put here in this description, that's going to show up on the list. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of moving on quickly, I'm just gonna put great pianos here just so we have something in here, and then save. Then after we save that through, then we're gonna have a Technology Advanced Pianos list here that we can edit and add inventory to. So if we go back to our all and we go into add a piece of inventory, you'll see that the Technology Advanced Pianos list is here for us to use. So when I add this piece of inventory, I can choose what list it goes to. So I'm going to stay with that. We may as well, just for demonstration purposes, let's put a Steinway Spirio in here. Could be a Yamaha Disc Lavir. We love them all. Could be piano disc. I got to put something here. We'll just do Steinway for now. And like here, we're going to want to put a description of this piano. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly navigate to the web here and get some information on this piano. Those of you at piano galleries, I'm sure you have all this already in your mind in the back of your head, but I'm just going to grab some quick information here so we can populate a decent description on this model. There you go. Steinway & Son Spirio. Now I can also put a YouTube video in here, but the link has to be formatted in a specific way. And when we launched this, we thought it would be super easy to do, but it looks like that some users are having a problem with this. So we have a note that we're going to make this even easier. But as of right now, if you'd like to add a video, it has to be on the web somewhere. YouTube is the go-to here. So we're going to type Steinway Spirio, for example. And we're going to select the video that we want. And then we can go ahead and select share and then embed right here. Or you can just select this link, but I suggest that you select embed here. And then you're going to see that you have the option to select this entire piece of code here. We're not going to use it all, but we're going to paste this in here. And like you can see here, we only want the link part. So between the quotations here, we can just take this out, and then between the other quotations, take this out. And then you can see that's formatted exactly like the example here underneath. And that's what's going to make the YouTube video work. I understand that's a couple extra steps, and we're going to work on a function to where you can just put any old link to any YouTube video, however formatted, and it's going to work. But we understand that that's a couple extra steps. Jack has a, go ahead, Jack.
This entire demonstration is going to be videoed, so you can fast forward to or go back and look at any part of this at any point in time if you're getting stuck and you're in your PianoLeads CRM and you do a live chat and Joey's in a meeting or he's going to lunch or something and he can't just answer you. This video will be very, very helpful because, as you can see, he's going into some detail about how to do some things.
Everybody knows we work right through lunch, Jack.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So we want to input a price range here. This is optional. If you don't put anything in, nothing's going to display, no big deal. If you want to put something in, sure. We're going to put something in here. And then we're going to need to find an image. Now you can actually take an image within your gallery of the piano that you're searching, of the piano that you're adding. You can up here as well if you bring that image onto your computer. So there's a variety of different methods that you can get. I'm just going to save one off the internet because I don't have one. But like I said, you can certainly take a picture with your phone and you can upload it straight from your phone, or you can get to it. You can upload it to your computer, whatever you'd like to do. And when we click this upload button, we get some pretty good options here. You can select the file to upload from your computer. You can paste a link in. You can do a web search. You can find pianos on your Piano Gallery's Facebook page, which is really nice. This integration is really cool. So if I click this and select connect to Facebook, it can connect to your Piano Gallery's Facebook page. Maybe you're in the habit of posting all your inventory to your Facebook page. Well, the images are already there. No need to upload a new one. You can connect straight to your Facebook page and grab it. If you do that for Instagram, or you have photos in Google Drive or Dropbox, you can use all of those services here. But we are going to upload it the old-fashioned way from the computer. I'll click desktop, and there's my photo. I'm going to click upload, and that's done. And then I'm going to click save, and there you go. Here's my Steinway Spirio here at the bottom, and it is a member of my technology pianos inventory list. And if I were to click on this here, it brings me to this specific list. It only has one piano on it. You'll see a couple of options up here at the top. This first one, let's say you want this list to display on your website somewhere. You can copy and paste this code and it will display it there. This is nice because you can manage inventory from one place. Wherever you paste this code, any edits that you make within PianoLeads to this inventory list will reflect on all of those web properties, wherever this code is placed. So this gives us the ability to manage inventory in one spot and have our changes pushed to anywhere on the web that we have this code. The preview button is nice because this is going to show you how the inventory list would look to the public. Your logo will populate here. Whatever address that we have for you as your location will populate here, your web address. If you have a photo uploaded into your associate profile, I will show you how to do that. That will populate here, and your specific information. This populates based upon whose turn it is. So it may be different if it's someone else's turn to receive a lead. And we got some quick action buttons here. They can call if they'd like to. They can text if they'd like to, or they can fire up an email here as well. And you'll see that here is our one listing here, our Steinway Spirio with our nice video that users can watch if they'd like to, and our description. So you can continue to add to this, and this is exactly what the user is going to see. You'll see that description that I placed here is here as well. So this can be longer. Obviously, we see a lot of galleries posting something like this. Is just a small sampling of our inventory. Please call or text us, schedule an appointment. We'll show you the whole kit and caboodle, and you'll just be so happy you won't be able to leave without buying something. Again, okay. So now we're in an actual list, and I forgot to mention that you must be in a list, a specific grouping for ordering to work. So now when we try to pull a piece of inventory up and drag it, there you go. High five, inventory order successfully saved. So it's going to work when we're looking at a specific list, and we can test that. So by looking here, let's go back to, let's preview this list and see what the order is currently. So we have number 5 here, and I did this just to, so this normally would be the title of the piano, but I did this so it would be clear to you guys what the order is. So number 5 is first. So if we were to bring number 3 up to the top, and then we refresh what the user sees, there you go. Number 3 is now the new order. So that's verified and working. So that's a very good feature to have. It makes ordering inventory just as easy as dragging and dropping. Thank you for reminding me about that, Jack. I would have skipped right over ordering. So now on to reporting. So we have what I consider a pretty robust reporting screen. Like I said, we're always building, we're always innovating this, we're always getting the bugs out. So there is more that we're going to add to this. But at a glance, this drop-down bar is very powerful because it's going to allow you to select your different locations, and all this information is going to populate based upon whatever location you select. I have all selected now, but if I were to select my piano industry location, you'll see that this data is going to change as it loads up based upon whatever location I'm looking at. So you'll see a total amount of leads and your store-wide conversion rate. This is a great store, 57%. That's a hot conversion rate. That's wonderful. You're selling 57% of everything that comes in. You'll have a sold number, company-wide, well, sorry, location-wide, sold, green, yellow, and red. Our 2 sales associates in this location, total number of leads, what they've sold, what's green, what's yellow, what's red, and their conversion rate. Now, some feedback that we've gotten is they said, well, I want to be able to click this. I want to, from this reporting screen, I want to see Jack's 12 greens, or I want to see Joey's 1 red. And that's a great piece of feedback, and that's actually on the list to be revised. So we're going to put that in. So in the future, you will be able to click on these. This is the application table. There's only 1 application since this is a demo account. A lot of you are going to see Use Piano, Premium Piano, and Piano Pair. You'll see the number of leads and its conversion rate. This is very handy because you can call us and say, you know what, we're doing great with that Premium Piano method. We're selling a lot of pianos there. But Piano Pair or the Use Piano Clearance app, we're not doing so well. I can see we're selling less of those. What can we do to help increase our conversion rates there? Well, that's what this reporting is all about, to allow you, to help you make those decisions. Once again, same thing here with sources. This is very important piece. All the sources of the leads are here along with their conversion rate. So we can say to ourselves, wow, we are really good at selling leads marked as internet. We have a 65% conversion rate there, way to go. But we may want to work on leads from our webinar. The trophy will go next to the best source. So leads marked as other, this particular demo account is great at selling those leads. Tags, the same thing. Remember, a lead can only have 1 source, but a lead can have many tags. So this organization is great at selling leads from their winter event. Not so good at their Mason and Hamlin customers, or those that are HVAC workers. Okay. So that's the reporting section. Now, we have a settings section here that's going to allow you to manipulate different settings in the system. So tags, pretty self-explanatory. You can create a new tag here. Remember, a lead can have many tags. So this would be somebody that's maybe interested in a hybrid, for example. So I can mark a lead as a hybrid tag, or I can create many tags. Perhaps a lead might be hybrid and they return one of my texts and they like to shampoo themselves. I don't know why that is in here, but it's a demo account. So anything goes in here, I guess. But just so you understand, you can mark a lead with many of these tags. Sources, a lead can only have one source, okay? One source, one main source. The concert, for example, we met this person at the concert. That is the main source of this lead. We can create new sources here and edit existing sources if we'd like. And whatever you create here will populate on your leads dashboard and become an available option for you to use in there as well. Next in settings is your location. So this is a manager feature. For managers, this gives you a nice bird's eye view of the system. You'll see that I have two locations here. Keep in mind, this is a demo account, so you see piano industry and new neighbors. For a piano gallery client, you may see one location here. It may say Santa Barbara, or it may say Santa Clarita, it may say San Francisco. So within those locations, you have sales associates. If you hire a new sales associate, you can add a sales associate here as well. You can select a sales associate that already exists within the organization. Maybe you already have them in another location, but you want to move them to this location. You can do that here by clicking the plus button and selecting an existing associate if you'd like. Or you can click new, and that's going to give you the ability to add a brand new associate. Let's say you have a new hire. You can put in all of their information here, first name, last name, email, whatever job title you want. The signature is not mandatory. You can let them add that later. The only thing that is mandatory here, first name, last name, email, and they must have a phone. Other information, it'll allow the sales associate to add. You must pick a username and a password for them and give them an access level. Sales associates will only be able to see their leads. Managers will be able to see and edit other people's leads, have access to reporting and access to applications. So a manager privilege comes with a lot of access, so be careful who you make a manager. If I select this box, okay, Jack, go ahead.
I just want to encourage everybody to continue typing in your items, your questions in the chat box, because we're going to go back to all of those and take them in order at the end.
Yes. So you can select the access level. That's where we were. And if you check this box, it's very nice. PianoLeads will send a welcome email to that user, prompting them to go ahead and select a password and log in. You must choose a password for them when you're creating a new associate, but it doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything, because they're going to be prompted to set a new one when they log in anyway. We don't even need a password field here. That shouldn't even be there. We'll probably take it out so you're not confused, but just know that whatever you put here, it doesn't matter, because the associate's going to reset it as soon as they receive their welcome email. That is how you would add a new one. You can add an application here as well. Now, this is a very advanced feature. You're only going to do this if you understand how to create your own standalone application and implement a webhook and get that data into PianoLeads. So that's very, very advanced, but if you are an advanced web developer, you can certainly add yourself an application here, but normally we will be doing that for you if you are one of our clients. But this will take you to the screen where you can add your own app here as well. Now, if I go ahead and click into one of the existing applications here, you're going to get some other options as a manager. This is a full breakdown of this application. A lot of these are going to be applications that we are managing for you on the web. So you're going to, in this left sidebar here, you're going to get a quick screenshot of the app. If I click on this, it takes me over to the live app. Okay, this is what people are going to this is where they're going to, this is how they're landing in my PianoLeads. Prospects International is marketing this for me, and that's how they're getting in. Says the URL, webhook. This is used to send data into PianoLeads. This is an advanced feature, but if you did ever want to create your own app, you would use this webhook to get data into the system. This gives you a nice created and an updated date, and since it's a demo, there are no leads, but you will likely see many leads in your applications. You can delete the app or edit it if it's one we created for you and it's generating leads and opportunities for you. I do not recommend deleting it. That is not a good idea. But you are going to be prompted before you try to delete something. You can edit the app once again if are you sure you want to do this? If this is something that we have created for you, don't touch it. Leave it alone. If it's an app that you have coded out and you're handling all that stuff, then by all means go ahead. Now this is important because this is the lead rotation. We get this a lot. So-and-so is going on vacation. Joey, take him off the rotation. Or Jack, so-and-so doesn't work here anymore. Take him off. Or Jack, add so-and-so to the rotation. Well, we wanted to allow you to be able to add sales associates to an application's lead rotation. And all a lead rotation is it's a grouping of people that are set to receive leads. Also, any responses that go out from the system are from that specific sales associate. So for example, this first sales associate will be CC'd on all activity because this is set to on, right? I can turn this off and this sales associate will receive nothing when a new lead comes in, okay? If I turn them on the rotation, this means that the next time a new lead is up, just like in a store, in the store, physical store, when you take an up, they will be the next person to receive a lead and it will rotate between the sales associates that are on, okay? You can edit a sales associate here, which only gives you the ability to change their privilege. But if anybody ever loses their login credentials and they call you and say, hey, I can't get in, help me, can you send me a password reset or something? You can do that here by clicking the checkbox and then save, and that'll fire off an email to them, which will instruct them on how to get into the system. You can remove a user here totally. This does not delete the user from the system. It just removes the pairing of this application. So don't worry, if you don't want anybody on this particular app, you can remove them. Their information is not going to go away. They're just not paired with this one anymore. Or we can add a user to the rotation here. This is pretty much the same as what you saw in that location screen. Pretty much the same thing. You can put an existing user in if you'd like. Let's say we want to put John Lennon into this rotation. Click that, and there we go. John Lennon has appeared. His default status is on, but maybe John Lennon is a manager, so no, I don't want him on the rotation, but I want John to know what's going on. Every time a new lead is generated, we would mark him as CC'd.
How do you transfer a lead, Mr. Boza?
That was in our lead profile area. I guess I went through that a little quickly, but I demoed that when we were looking in our lead profile. But if you want to do that, you would go back here within the lead that you'd like to transfer, go into their lead profile, and then that's going to be found in our take action button. The last option here is to transfer the lead, and you can select which sales associate you'd like that to go to.
Okay, good.
So in our application section here, that pretty much covers our rotation, okay? You can add an existing user, or you can go down to new and add a brand new sales associate here if you'd like to. You can add them here on this level. When you create them here, it pairs them with the app, but it also creates them their own account in PianoLeads and sends them a welcome email with instructions on how to log in for the first time. This is a good time to talk about our tutorials button, which I think I should have made a different color because I have a lot of users reaching out to me asking me things, and I love to answer questions, no big deal, but I want to let them know I worked really hard on some tutorial videos for you guys, and they are all here, but they're in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. If you can see where my mouse is wiggling, I guess it is hard to see. Maybe I should have made this a bright yellow color or something. But if you click this tutorials button, it fires up a window with a lot of tutorials on the system, video tutorials that I've made. You can use this button to skip through. You'll see this is one on adding a new lead, lead profile, inventory, reporting, tags, profile, automation, locations. So all of that stuff is in here. If you'd like to take a look, you are absolutely welcome to do so. But that's this button here on the bottom left. So that was our user rotation. I'm just warning you guys, I know we said we'd be an hour. We probably got about 15 minutes left, and then we'll be done. I just want to manage your time appropriately because I know you guys are in lab gallery environments and you got things going on. So we're about 15 minutes from being finished here. So we have an auto response area. If you select this to off, even though you have content here, nothing's going to happen when a user comes through the applications form. When they fill this out to request an inventory list, they will not receive any type of correspondence. The sales associate will receive correspondence letting them know that a new lead was generated, but the prospect will not receive anything because we have our initial auto responses off. If we turn this on, this email is going to be from whoever's turn it is in the rotation. We normally populate this for you because in an instance of an inventory list application, this is about trust. A user is asking you for something and we need to get them exactly what they want as fast as possible without any BS involved in it. So that's why these initial inventory auto responses are short and sweet. You ask for something, here it is, sir, and oh, here's a buyer's guide that goes along with that for you to peruse. Now later, we can program the system to get deeper involved in dialogue with the prospect. But initially, you can change these if you'd like. Do not remove this inventory list link because that is what they're requesting. So don't touch that. But underneath the buyer's guide here, if you want to go down a little bit, you're welcome to customize this a little bit further. Just bear in mind, we want to keep our first response to our customers short and sweet. They asked us for something and we're delivering. So that is our application view, and we got there from locations. Now automation is the final main point we're going to get to, and then we'll have some little things here in the user profile, and then we will be finished and we'll take some questions. Automation is a really, really powerful feature in PianoLeads, and we're really happy to have it. We're seeing 30 to 40% response rates, and that's not on a technical level. It is a little bit, but most of it is users calling me so much and letting me know this automation stuff is helping me sell more goods and services. It is engaging with prospects behind the scenes. I'm doing less work and I'm talking to more people. And that's why we developed these. So an automation is something that happens behind the scenes automatically without you doing a thing. We set them up and we let them run. An automation has a trigger and an action. So if I go into create an automation, this is the easiest way to explain it, is creating one. The first one is applies to, right? So this is going to be the trigger. What makes this automation run, right? I'm going to say all new leads, but you can say if a lead source equals something, anybody that comes into the system that is marked at this as this source, or if I mark anybody at this source, I want to run this specific automation, okay? You have the same with if an application equals something, or if a tag equals something. This is great because let's say you're running a promotion that's all about digital pianos. It's your digital piano month. Well, if a digital piano customer comes in, you have a separate sales funnel that you want to lead them down. You want to send them emails and texts about digital pianos, not general stuff, right? So this is great because it allows us to tailor our follow-up, tailor our automated follow-up based upon what the prospect is interested in. Very, very cool stuff. But I'm going to set this to all new leads for now to make it simple. So anything that comes into the system, whether we push it in from an application or whether you add it manually, this automation will apply. Now the next is when do we want it to apply? I'm going to say I want this to happen on day 3. So if a lead has been in the system on the 3rd day that they've been in the system, day 3, what do I want to happen to them? Well, I need to select a method, right? Do I want to email them? Do I want to text message them, or email and text? If I select text message, oh, you're going to get this notice again. Remember, when we're generating leads for you through an application, we don't have control if the user enters a cell or a home phone, right? Most people have cell phones now, so you don't have to worry about it. But we just want you to understand, if you're asking yourself, gosh, why aren't my text message automation leads running for everybody? Well, it's probably because the system found a number that's not a cell phone, or it's not a working number, right? So in order for text automation and quick action text messages to work, you got to make sure that in your user profile, you have your cell phone inputted. I'm going to show you how to do that next. And in the leads profile, they must have a number, whether in the phone or mobile field, that is a working cell phone, okay? So on day 3, or you can do both. On day 3, I want to send them an email and a text on the third day, okay? But that's a lot. So you better be really, better be something really good if you're going to email and text them at the same time. But I'm just going to say email. And so on day 3, we have some automations that we have already set up here that work across the board in many markets. So we have those programmed in for you. But I will tell you, when you're creating an automation, you want to be short and sweet, and you want to end it with a question, and you want a subject line that invokes somebody to respond and open up this email. So initial questions works really well because that's intriguing. If this was an email on day 5, maybe you have some other emails before that. A lot of times what works really well is one last thing. Whoops. Right, that's an intriguing subject line. People want to open that. It's curiosity. But we're just going to call this initial questions. Okay, and then the body of my email. I just wanted to know who in your family is playing the piano, right? We leave it off with a question because we want an answer. We don't want to send a newsletter out. We're not sending emails out for our health. We're sending emails because we want users to reach out to us and start dialogue with us about purchasing a piano. Now, if I save this through, high five, automation successfully created. Here's my automation. So we know that on day 3, all users are going to get that email. So you can start to see how powerful this is, right? I can create automations that happen all the way to day 60 of the prospect cycle. So this is very, very powerful stuff, because we can be darn sure that maybe if our sales associates are not having the best time following up with them because they're busy, we can be darn sure that our system is going to follow up with them in the back end. Up to 2 months, you can program things. Be careful with this because this is powerful. Do not schedule an automation for every day for 60 days because you're going to burn people and they're not going to buy anything from you. But we call it tasteful automations, right? We want to be tasteful, we want to be kind, and we want to schedule these spread out so we don't annoy anybody. But you can see how powerful it is. You can build an entire 60-day automated follow-up cycle with this. These are some of the existing applications that we put in. You will see these in your account. If they're working for you, great, leave them alone. If you feel like you really need to change it and you've got the next best idea, before you change it, call us, because we'd like to know what could work better than what we already have. We would love to share that with everybody else. But you can certainly edit an existing application here if you'd like to, and change up the wording, or you can remove them and turn them off altogether. Now, one last thing important that I wanted to go into while we're on automation is, let's say that you're in dialogue with a customer. Let's say they reach out to you in the first 2 days, and you know, well, I have an automation cycle that's going to go for 15 days, and I'm already in dialogue with this person. So I don't need them to get any more automated stuff. We're already talking, we've already answered questions, and we're good to go. You can go into this leads profile and just switch it to off, and there you go. No more automations will be sent to this specific lead. Okay, so that's very important to know that you have control over turning those off. So that is automation. We have just a few quick things to go over here. It will take 5 minutes, and then we're going to open it up for questions. So nobody's going to have this because none of you are super admins like me and Jack, because we're just cool like that. But everybody is going to have this welcome and your name here. Okay. Now this is going to give you access to your user profile. There we go. So you will have the ability to upload a photo of yourself if you'd like to. You can, same thing, you can upload one from your computer. You can pick your Facebook profile photo, your Instagram profile. If you have photos in Drive or Dropbox, you're free to do that here. And you can upload a profile photo. Very nice to do. This profile photo will show up on your inventory list. It'll show up a lot of different places where prospects may see you. So this is a good way for you to brand yourself. Put a nice professional photo here. It's going to state your username and your privilege, the last time you logged in, when you joined, the locations that you are a member of, the applications that you are in the rotation of. You can reset a password here or cancel your account, but you would never want to cancel your account. You'd never want to leave, I think. So simple stuff here, first name, last name. You can put your phone number here. Remember, in order for those texting automations to work and the quick action text messages that you can send, you must have your cell phone number in this field or else it will not work. Very important. You do not have to put a phone or you can put your cell in both places, but just make sure that you have something in there. Your email address, this is your official title, which will show up in signatures. If you do not put anything in signatures, we're going to create a nice default signature for you. It's going to include your title and just basic stuff, basic information. Or you can choose to create your own signature here if you want to say something nice, and then we'll use this. If you put something in here, we're going to use that every time. Time zone is very important. If you ever input a lead and you say to yourself, gosh, I just put this in and it's telling me that it happened 2 days ago. Well, you're probably set on Hawaii time or something weird. So make sure that you go into your user profile and select your time zone. Okay, that's very important for you to do. I'm going to leave mine on Eastern because that's where I am. And it's going to quickly depict the company logo that is shown on automations and emails and different things like that. Okay, profile saved successfully, and now I'm confident that I have a good profile. My time zone is set, so all the times on my notes and my leads are going to correspond with where I am. I have a photo, so this profile is in good shape, and they're going to have a really good follow-up experience with PianoLeads. So the only other thing here is the help button. We have 2 ways for you guys to reach out for help in this system. Sometimes we get overwhelmed and it may take a little while for us to get back to you, but understand that every time you reach out for help, it goes into a ticket queue and we're actively working on that, actively addressing issues, any bugs that you may find or any suggestions that you may have. We're always looking into that. Like I said, like Walt Disney said, this system is always under construction. It is always evolving and being built. So 2 ways to reach out. You can click the help button here. Please describe your issue and fire that off. That's going to send us an email letting us know what your problem is. That was rude, not like that, but letting us know what issue that you have. You can type that in there. And then we have a live chat feature. If I am not at lunch, Jack thinks I'm at lunch all the time, I will have this on for you, and you can talk to me directly. If I'm available, we can go back and forth and talk instantly. If I'm not, like I'm doing a webinar right now, I'm obviously not available, you'll see this leave a message button, and I will get back to you there as well. Final thing, just to reiterate, watch the tutorials. They are right here, different chapters, different sections you can switch through if you have any more questions. We are also going to be this is being recorded, so you'll have access to this entire webinar later. That is the conclusion. I'm going to unmute Jack now because we're going to answer some questions and see if he has any final thoughts on what we went through today.
No, a final statement before we take questions is that I want everybody to have a comfort level that I am using this CRM, so it's so easy even a caveman can do it. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, once you get in there and start using it, it's pretty user friendly. I think we should answer the questions and let these people go back to work.
Okay. So let's do that. Let's pull up some first questions. So the first question that we have here is,
Can you search
okay.
for a word?
Can you search for a word in all the text? And you absolutely can search for a word. Now, we're getting better with our searches. Searching is a unique function because you're searching user entered data and you're having a computer search something that a human entered. So we're getting better at our searching, but initially, yes, you can. For example, if I start typing in the search bar here, I'm just going to start typing George. There we go. Somebody named George comes up. I started typing Hawaii, and there we go. It pulled up something in that email address. As far as something that's in the notes, let me see if there's anything here in this. Let's hear. There's the word wandering. Now, I'm not sure if we can pull that, but we'll see. If not, we can work on getting that to work. No, so the answer to your question is it's not going to search the recent activity section, but we can certainly enable that as a search field and see how that works. That's very easy to do, and I think that that's a valuable action to take because maybe you do want to see anything that is noted as a digital lead very quickly. Maybe you don't want to use tags, even though maybe you do have a digital tag that says digital here. You can find digital leads this way as well. This is a demo. I don't have any digital leads. I only have 4. But I see that that is valuable, enabling this column as a sort. So that's something that we're going to write down, and that's an innovation that we'll put through. So, but actively right now, we're going to be searching the name and the email and the telephone field as well is searchable. So these 3 first fields, name, email, and phone, are what happens when you conduct a search. So let's check out our next question here. I have to stop the share to see, sorry, I have to stop the share to see the chats, I guess. Okay. Next one we have, can leads be transferred to associates, and do tags apply across all associates, and can leads be transferred between associates? Okay, so yes, leads can be transferred. Within a leads profile area, you're going to click summary, and in your take action area, you can click transfer a lead, and that can be transferred as well. Sources and tags are going to be universal items in PianoLeads, which means that if you create a tag, it is viewable by others. And the reason that we do this is because if you created a tag that says digital and you're in a sales associate, but let's say a manager comes in and he wants to see all leads marked as digital throughout the system, well, that's one tag that's going to unite all of those leads together. So that is why sources and tags are universal. Anybody can create one and view them and edit them and use them without their system. So sales associate A can create a county fair tag, and that tag is accessible. So sales associate B can program, can tag his leads with county fair as well. When does 2.0 go live? We're live. We've been live for a month, and we're ready to go. So if you need any assistance getting your sales associates on board, we're ready to go and help you out. We'd be happy to do that. Can the day be set for last activity? So that's a question about editing this I'll get with you, the person that asked this question, I'll get with you to clarify that a little more. But the reason why we wouldn't want to set that is this does it automatically. So I'm not really seeing the reason as to why we would want to manipulate this date, because we want the date to populate that we made the change. So you need to help me understand as to why we would want to manipulate that date, because it would be incorrect. It wouldn't be the same date as when we made the change, and that may be confusing. So maybe we can clarify that afterwards. So last question here, is there a way to freeze your home screen to 50 prospects, organized chronologically from newest to oldest? All right, well, let's see if we can do that. So we'll go, let's show, I'm gonna, since this is a demo account, I only have 4 leads. We're obviously gonna need to populate more here for the example. So I'm gonna select associate, and we'll select all, and that'll give us more. So let's go back here. So the question was, can we show 50 entries, and can we sort those 50 entries by the created date? Yes, we can. Here's how we would do it. First of all, we would select to show 50 entries, and there you go. It's showing us our 50. And then we want to select created, and then that's going to show us the chronological order of those 50 by toggling that back and forth.
I want to backtrack a little bit. Thomas also in his question said something about putting some leads from Salesforce into the new CRM, and that's a migration process that I believe you can do an export and an import. Is that right, Joey?
You can't do an export and an import on the sales associate side yet. If you're talking about importing new leads into the system.
Well, he's got a bunch of them in Salesforce, is my understanding.
Sure. You would have to get with us, and we'll administer that import for you. Our client side import feature is not ready because of usability issues right now, but we can certainly manually do that import for you for now.
So the answer is yes, Thomas.
Yes, we can. Yes, you can't do it, but we can do it for you. So last question here, unless any more come up, we're happy to stay and answer all the questions we can. George, everyone, Joey, you stated that the most recent activity comes up at the top of the all list. When I get an email stating that I have a new lead, I sign in, and it's not at the top of the list, it's at the bottom. How come? Well, the reason for that is because leads are, the default sort is recent activity. And when a new lead comes in, that's really not an activity. That's a created, right? I guess you could say the activity is it was generated, but in this system, we didn't build a lead coming in as an activity. We built activities as after a lead is already in, a sales associate manipulating that lead, that's considered an activity. So that's why you may not see that first lead. But when you do log in, if you do select the created field here and you decided to sort by created, you will see the newest lead that was brought in at the top.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Are there any other questions before we adjourn?
I want to encourage everybody to think about humanization, and if you are going to create your own automations, try not to make them seem too canned, because the purpose of the automation is to try to start dialogue. And the other thing is that part of this culture change here that needs to be installed is that once you do create dialogue, please remember to go in and turn off the automation so that you don't embarrass yourself. You just talked to somebody yesterday who said, I got this old spinner I'd like to have $300 or $400 out of. And then the next day an automation comes out talking about your trade-up program or your trade-in program. So you don't want to create a disconnect. So part of this is the onus is on the sales representative to go in. And that's really all I had. I think what today was about was allowing us to have a demo that you guys can reference at any point in time, parked on our website, because we're in meetings and doing all kinds of stuff, and we're not always available to answer questions that you may need an answer to right away.
And I just want to say thank you for everybody that attended. Thank you to all of our clients and everyone that has been with us for the last 6 years, giving us ideas, giving us innovations. Let's continue to make our products and services the best that they can be together. Let's always keep this under construction as we move forward. So thanks a lot, and I hope you guys have a great day.